So.
How's this working? Oh wow, so cool.
Yeah.
I love your technology. She's doing the job of what used to be at least 2 or 3 people. I just want to point that out.
Well, thank you for the compliment. I am.
It's a sign of automation, either way. I also just want to say her equipment says Jester on it. I did not realize it was her last name, so I thought it was like a code name, like Top Gun. It was like Jester, but it turns out it's actually just her name.
Well, first of all, where are we and what are we doing?
Oh, well, we're on the pier here in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, talking about climate change and what it means to fishermen communities, what it means for all of us, really. There
are lots of fun parts of the campaign trail. What is the toughest part?
The toughest part for me is being away from my family, because I've got 2 young kids, 6 and 4, and they say to me, it's like, Daddy, where are you going this time? You know, like, how long are you going to be away? So that's a massive drag.
What is something that people don't know about you that you haven't publicly shared before?
Wow, so fun. My favorite chocolate is dark chocolate. I guess no one would know that. Favorite color is blue, but you can probably tell that just by looking at my getup. A lot of identical looking outfits in the closet. Something else more interesting about me. As a kid, I used to cut my own hair. I bought clippers, and I just go, they go around like that. Now I do not cut my own hair because, you know, I'm running for president, and they decided to upgrade me.
What is a talent that you wish you had?
I wish that I could play guitar, because I grew up playing piano, and then whenever there was a person at the campfire playing guitar and singing, I thought, wow, that's much cooler than playing piano, because it's not like you can bust out a piano in that environment.
What about a talent that applies to being president?
I've got an above average memory, which seems to be a handy skill. It would actually help me be a good commander-in-chief too, because I have a fairly good recall.
Is there an item that you collect and why?
I used to collect comic books as a kid, but haven't in a long time because our comic books got piled up in a collection that my mom gave them away to some younger kid. Also action figures when I was a kid, but that's also been a long time.
What would you say is the biggest recent victory for America and society?
Well, I think the fact that our attitudes towards gay rights have transformed relatively quickly is a massive triumph. It seems very common sense to recognize gay marriage when not that long ago that would have been considered very controversial.
Absolutely. Do you want to walk and do a couple?
Sure.
What sport is politics most like?
Wow. I think the sport that politics is most like is professional wrestling, which is not even quite a sport.
What is the biggest mistake you've made as a leader, and how did you fix it?
Thinking that there are times when you have to demonstrate leadership by outworking everyone to a point where you actually end up wearing yourself out, and then the people around you also wear themselves out, and it ends up being not a great recipe for organizational success on any level.
So did you fix it by taking a break?
Yes, I did. And it turns out that the only way to get your people to take a break is to take a break yourself if you're the CEO or head of an organization.
Can you talk about a time that you felt discriminated against?
Well, this is someone just yelled a racial epithet at me out of a car just the other day.
What's the toughest decision you've had to make as a boss?
The toughest decision you make as a boss is when people help your organization succeed, but then your organization gets to a point where that person may or may not be the right fit. And then you have to make changes in the organization, and you feel personally indebted to the folks that got you there. But then you have to look out for the well-being of the organization, and sometimes that means making difficult and painful changes.
Who's your most important hire as president?
Well, it's going to be my vice president, because that person could potentially become the president, and you need a partner in that role. So I'm looking forward to identifying my VP.
What department under the executive branch is in most need of reform?
Well, one of the things I would do is I would create a new department of the technology that would help see to some of the issues that are, at this point, transforming American life and are not being accounted for at all.
If you could have any celebrity you a food, what celebrity and what food?
Rock and a protein bar.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.